Hello everyone, this is Bernice from the Napping Mouse, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this card here with having it stacked up, and I like to call this a nestling card. Okay, no stamping, no nothing. This is all I've used the Graphic 45, the Botanical collection. It is an older one, so you can follow along and you can use other collections or even other paper brand for that too. But I've added some butterflies here. I've added this, and I will show you how I made this flower set here. And also I'm going to show you how to cut the lining as well. Okay, well, I am so happy that you're here. Now grab your favorite drink and let's get crafting. So the supplies that you're going to be needing is one 8.5 by 11 copy paper. This will be for the lining of the card. And then also a base 8.5 by 11 as well. You see I've got it cut it there, but I'll explain to you as we go. And then also a 12 by 12 double-sided paper. It's preferably good to have some kind of like solid or semi-solid in the one side and then decorative on the other side. Okay, and the one that I'm using is from Graphic 45, and this is from the Botanica collection, Ode to a Butterfly. Okay, we'll need that. And then also you will need this here. This is just a sheet of nestling card number 2, and this is just gonna give you a guidance, and I'll have this link down below. And then lastly, some kind of embellishments here. I've got various ones that we're going to use. This is from the Botanica collection, and then also some double-sided tape and some foam, and then and a pencil for sure. And then also your trimmer, your scoreboard, your the glue, hot glue, and a hot glue gun. Okay, all right, let's get started. Okay, so now what we'll need is your trimmer and also your 12 by 12 decor paper. Okay, now this is the double-sided one that I suggest. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the manufacturer's detail here. Okay, I've got that, and I'll set that. Now there's going to be a lot of writing certain things because it can get confusing, but I try to break it down as simple as possible, and it may seem like a lot in the beginning, but hopefully it'll make sense towards the end and make it easier towards the end to assemble these pieces. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is at the top, I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. Okay, and this is panel 1, and then we'll cut it at 4, and this is panel 2. This is scrap, so we'll set that aside for another project. Okay, so now that we've got that, we've got panel 1 and panel 2. We're going to be working on panel 1 first, so let's set this one here aside. I'll leave it right there. Okay, now you'll still need a trimmer. So at the 12-inch top here, you are going to cut it at 3. Okay. Three 3/4. And then this should be the, oh, this is 4. Okay. And then this is scrap. The 3 3/4, we're going to call this 4D. Okay, just trust me on this one for now, 4D. And you can mark it right on top, like, or at least mark it in the middle wherever you can, just to make it easier. Don't worry, it's going to get covered later on, so no one's going to see it. But if you do it with the pencil and you do see it, you can just go ahead and erase it. Okay, so this one here, this, you're going to turn it to the 1/4 or the 5 1/4 inch side, and you're going to cut it at 4 1/4. Okay, now this is 4D, meaning this is the 4th one, and D stands for dark. Okay, so we'll put the dark side on one, Now take the second piece and we're going to number this at 5L, meaning the fifth one, and it's going to be the light one. But at the 4 or the 5 1/4 inch side, we are going to cut it at 5 inches. Okay, and then the last one, the 6D, and we're going to leave this as it is, okay? 6D meaning 6 and it's dark, okay? So there we go, and that was for panel 1. We'll set that aside. Now we're going to take panel 2, and then panel 2 at the 4 or the 12-inch top, we are going to cut it at 1 3/4. So that is 1 3/4. Okay, and this is going to be 1L. Okay, that would be the top one. And then the second piece, you're going to cut it at 2 inches. So let's do that. 2 inches, and this is 2D, so 2 and dark. Okay, and then here we're going to cut it at 2 3/4. Okay, this is scrap, and this is 3L. Okay, now what we're going to do is take the first one, so the 1L, we are going to turn it to the 4-inch side, and we are going to cut it at 3. Set that aside. This is scrap. And then the second one, or the 2D, we are going to turn it to the 4-inch side, and we are going to cut it at 3 1/4. Okay, and that's scrap. And then this last piece is as it is, so you're not going to do anything to it. Okay, now we're done with all of the cutting, and we're going to mount this all together. Okay, so now that we have all of those together, what we're going to do is go ahead and set this your trimmer aside, and we're going to put this all together. Okay, so the one that I said, the 1L, so that would be the light side, or this is going to be my light side here. Okay, the 2D would be the dark, so I'm going to flip that over like this, and then this is the 3L, so that stays there. And then this is that's number 5. Here's number 4. So the 4D, that's going to be the dark. The 5L will be the light. And then the 6D will be the dark. So that will change it like this. And eventually this is how it's going to come together. Okay. So look how beautiful that looks. You still have the, that's how it's all going to come together. But before we put that all together, the one thing that we need to do is add the dimensions. Now, with this, you can add dimensions on all of them, each and every one of them, if that's what you choose. But you're going to get a pretty high stack if you want to. And then also you can choose which ones that you want it to put as a dimension. So maybe the 6 here is going to be the flat one here. So you're going to put that with no dimensions underneath. But then you want to put dimension on this here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let me show you some examples of what I'm talking about. So I made this card over here, and I've added, I didn't add any kind of dimensional to the base of the card, okay? But I did add a dimensional here to the side, and then to this here, and then to this. And you know, it's substantial. So if you're going to give this to a person, like at least hand, you know, if you're not going to send it by mail or anything, then that's fine. If you're going to send it by mail, just keep in mind that if you do have it really stacked, that you're going to have to pay extra for the postage, okay? And if you're okay with that, then that's all good. It's still going to look beautiful whether you do it, not even if you do one of these, having it stacked up, you know, having some kind of dimension. But it does add interest to it. So here's another one that I've added just a few to the very top here, okay? And that made it easier to put the flower there. And then also here's another one that I've done that I went ahead and I yes actually did add it to all of them as well. So just keep that in mind, okay? So I'll put these aside and we'll go working on this. Now the first one, this is the 6 dark, okay? So I'm going to add it directly to the card because it just makes it easier to do it that way. And I prefer to do adding it to the base of the card as I go, only because it's not going to be like this one big pile that you're going to put to the card, and then you're going to have to make sure whether it's sticking to the base properly. I'm going to get my art glitter glue here. Okay, so I'll add it to the base of the card. Whoops. I'll add that. Now, make sure that it is on the right side and it's on the open side. It's just even though it may not make a difference, it's not, depending on the kind of paper that you have, the kind of decor paper that you've got, it's just a good idea to keep in mind so that when you are decorating or making cards, that you kind of have like your system going, so it almost is going to be foolproof for the next time you go put this down, okay? And also, if you have like decorative punches, like a corner punches like this, that would look beautiful. Or if you've got like anything like this, that would look beautiful as well. I'm not going to do that to this one here, but I will go ahead and put it down, or just put it down regular. Oh, then just so another thing to keep in mind, to make it look a little bit like vintage and distressed and grungy, you can add this, which I know I did say in my other video that I was going to add more. It just really makes it pop out and really makes it look nice. Not something that you have to do. You can also use a Sharpie, like the edge of a Sharpie or edge of a marker. If you don't like that white space in between, or at the edge of the paper, like the cut edge of the paper, okay? It does make it look nice though, and does give it like a vintage feel to it. I didn't do it to this one, which I think it's okay. I'm okay with that. But I'll do it to the rest, and I am using Distress Oxide, and this is called the Vintage Photo, okay? All right, so let's get this. And then I've got this here. So I'm going to show you the first one. You can use this one. This here is from 3L Adhesive. And I believe I still have this on my online store. If I do, I will put a link down below. But if you have like a cardboard box or any kind of thick chipboard like that, you can use that as well. Now, the the Botanical Bella that this comes in, there is a chipboard here, and a lot of artists, what they do is that they'll take the chipboard and the extra pieces that they have like around the big chipboard itself, they will use that as dimensional, so it does kind of pop up, give it some lift there. That's completely up to you if you want to do that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then this is pretty much easy, so from here on out, after I put this one down, looking the way I do it to put this one down, I will tilt it so it's not sticking to anything, and then I will make sure that the top, bottom, and the edge is pretty much the same distance, and then I'll kind of just drop it and then I'll press it down. Okay, so the top, the bottom, and the edge here. Okay, just food for thought. Okay, so I'm gonna work on the rest here. You'll see me do it, but I'm gonna fast forward this part. Okay. Okay, folks, so this is the last one, and I realized as I was going that I did not ink the edges on these, so I do apologize for that if that's what you were wanting to see. I mean, it still looks beautiful, but it doesn't give it that extra like distress look that I was going for. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do, we're done with everything else. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is we're going to decorate the front over here. Okay. Okay, folks, so now what we're going to do is create our bow, and originally I was going to use this. I thought it was pretty, but I really love this, and just the this here is from Waste Not Paper, also Paper Source 2. Okay, they are the same company as Waste Not Paper is their wholesale here. I still have some of these ribbons left. Okay, this is a beautiful satin ribbon, and I think it's going to look very well with this. It's not going to be too dark and not going to be too light. This is in the color slate. So what I'm going to do is create a faux bow, and the faux bow is just like you're going to take it and put it like this, kind of, there you go. And then you're going to fold it like this, okay. And then kind of have like the tails down like this a little bit. And we are going to, you can either staple it in the middle, you can pinch it in the middle, or you could tie it with you know, extra string. Now what I do is I'll take a paper clip, not a paper clip. You could take that, but no, don't use a paper clip. Never mind. Don't do that. I did it and it didn't work out. Okay, and just take some kind of string, and then you can string, you could tie a little knot here in the middle to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, that it stays like that. Okay, now this of course is going to want to come undone, so I'm going to tie it in the reverse section like that, and see, it doesn't come undone when I do it in the reverse. Okay, just a little trick there. I tie it twice so it will not come undone, and then before I trim it, I'm going to move it to the center as much as possible, and then I'm going to trim it. I don't want this to, okay, that's, trim that there, and I'll trim that there, and I'll show you what I was going to do with this one here. Okay, so now let's just play around with this and making sure that we want it how the size that we want, and making sure that it's all good and even. Okay, and then I can go ahead, or we'll go ahead and just go like this. And then also, if I cut one way in one direction, I also want to do the same with the other side, okay? It just makes it look polished. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, but it really does make it look a lot polished, okay? All right. Nope, don't pull it out because it will snag if you do that. And then also, to get it not to fray, then you can either add glue to the end, or you can burn the ends, okay? And only a little bit will do. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to put that. Now that, it looks okay for now, but with these two, I don't know, I do like the colors together, so I'm happy with that. And this is the one from Petaloo. I think I still have some of this left, and if I do have it left in my store, then on my online store, then I'll go ahead and link that down below. Okay, so I'll have that. And also, and I forgot to tell you in the beginning, but do get your hot glue gun ready to glue down. Now this one here, this is from, this I still have as well. This is 12, no, it's not 12 inches. I think it's what, 18 inches. That's there, 12 is there. And then, yes, so it's 18 inches. And so what I'll do is I will twist it around like this, making sure that each end is on the other side. Like this is here on one side, and this is here on the other. And then in the middle, I'll go ahead and I'll fold it in half, okay? Now, normally I like to do this with the, like the harder, like twig, oh, like the more textured one, which is the one I'm trying to say. Like the raffia will work well, but also, what is it? Oh, when it comes to me, I will have it down below, okay? Right now, it's just not coming to me. So I will go ahead and I'll hot glue gun this in the middle like that, and then I will put this. But I will do it to both sides, so you'll get some kind of look like this, okay? It's this here. This is what I'm talking about. I don't have it here with me right now. I only have this, and so I'm going to use this. You can also use this type if you've got some kind of, if you want to add some kind of mesh to it, like if you have the glittered mesh type, you can go ahead and do that. That'll look, I mean, it did look well with this one, so there's another option. But let me go ahead and do that again. Okay. Let me just do that again. 1, 2. I'm trying to keep it even. And normally the width of my, well, I'll have to open it up. My hands will do well, but I have to open up my fingers a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue here on the side. Okay, and I'm going to press that down. Now I don't have my little finger protector. That silicone thing that I got from the dollar store, but use something to press it down like that, okay? This part's not going to show. The flower's going to cover it. So let me see if I can do it with this. This is smaller. Yeah, that's a little smaller. Okay, so let me get another one like this, and then I'll glue it to the other side. I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I did go ahead and I added to the other side. It looks like a little mess over there in the middle, but we are going to hide that really quickly. Now, this Petaloo kit does come with the flower or the leaves like that. So if you do want to add that, that'll look really nice. It would add like you know, just adds more interest to it and keep it a little bit more natural. I'm going to go ahead and add it. Normally, I would add it after I had put everything down, and then for space, see, I just like the way that looks. It just peeks out there. Okay, let me do this. Now, I'm not going to add it to the other side just yet, and I'll show you why. Okay, so here we go, and oh, that looks just so beautiful. I can add it there, I can add it there, I could put it on top of there. And then if you want to like kind of bring all this down and then add it here in the middle, you can, or make it kind of puff up like that. This looks great. If you want to add it to the side like I did with the other cards, you can. Okay, now let's say I'm going to add it like this, okay? But I forgot to add my other leaf. So I'll get my leaf from this here. Whoops. Oh, this one's smaller. I'll get my leaf from this, okay, and then I can work with it, but it's not going to go completely underneath it because I've already glued this top down. So what you do is just cut the edge like this and then kind of work itself in like this, okay? Or I could put another leaf here on top, and that would look well. So no leaves on one side and then all the leaves on the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. Okay, and then this will go directly on to the ribbon, but it gives it the dimension itself, okay? So, and no one knew, you know, that you cut a little bit of this off, or, you know, even if you wanted to add something like this here, let's see, will it work here? Kind of. For this case, no, I'm not even going to bother with it. But you get the idea, you know, so don't fret if you, like, later on wanted to add that. And that's why I don't add glue to, like, the whole bit. I always keep, like, some edges open in the event I see something that would look really great, and instead of, like, ungluing everything, I will go ahead and glue that down. All right, so now I've got my pieces here, and before I glue that down, we're going to do a little bit of play. So I've got this that I like a lot, and I have some of these like pieces as well here. And we could add this as a charm too, if you'd like to do that. I was thinking about that, or then I was thinking about this, but this is going to go a little bit too big. And I mean, I could maybe have it like this and play, but You know what? I'm not going to use those two. I'm just going to actually go for these two here. These two here. And I like it like that. Let me see if the flower will look upside down. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Nope. Actually, it didn't look upside down. So I could put that there. And then some kind of sentiment. You can go across. These here is part of the collection. And so I've got some sentiments here. Dreamy. That will look. Or butterflies right there. Botanica Bella. Nature. Beautiful. Ode to the Butterfly, which is the name of that thing. I'm going to go with Dreamy. Oh, Paradise. That's another one right there. But I'm going to go with Dreamy, and I can put that straight ahead onto that one. I can also, which would look good, is take one of the scrap pieces from the kit, or from what we did, and actually put this down, like glue this down here. Perfect. I actually like that, so I'm going to go with that. Give it a little bit of a matte. Finished piece there. Perfect. Okay, and then we can add Dreamy there. And I can also add, you know what? Let's add some more dimensional. Where did I put my dimensions here? I will do that. I will put 2 dimensions on this side, on each side of this. Okay. So yeah, or you can add this like to underneath it like that, to like have it poking out like that. I kind of like these two together. So I will, you know what, this is the overkill when you're using hot glue gun from paper to paper, but it's like a little much, but here we go. Dreamy right there. Okay, and I'm gonna add that here. And that on top. Okay, so let's glue this down. Okay, and then I can add this. Now, remember when I said that I wrote right on top? Well, most likely it's going to get covered. So we're going to cover this. Not because it's written, but because I've already was going to decorate on top of it. And I knew I was going to cover a part of it. So yeah, let's press that down. Okay, now there we go. So let's move all of this aside and I'll get the rest. There is the finished piece to this one here. I don't know where, oh, the glitter came from all of this. That's what I was wondering, where all the glitter came. Actually, it looks kind of good. So here you go. This is the finished product. There's the card right there. And then when you open it, oops, I don't know how that got there, but I can stamp and I can put any kind of sentiment that I want. I can even put a picture over here on one side and then a sentiment on the other side and right there. Okay. All right. So let me bring the other cards. I've got this sample here, and I've got these samples. This is actually also from the Botanica Bella here, and I've got that. Okay, also another one from Botanica Bella. Right there. I just fell in love with this. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even add any butterflies like I was going to add. This is really... I was going to add some butterflies. It's a good thing I saw the butterflies over here, and I'm like, whoa. This is also from Petaloo. And if I have some left, I will have that link down below. But I am running low on this, and I'm not going to get another one. But here's the butterfly, and you could put the butterfly like on top over here on the side. It could be like kind of like there. There's one. This is the one I thought was really cute with the, so let me add a little bit of that to here. Okay, because it really would make it special. Oh, right there, Dreamy. And then you got the butterfly right there. And you just don't have to stop at one butterfly. Okay, you can add some more. Like, just look how beautiful. Oh, and that would kind of like cover that part up too. So let's go ahead and add that. It does come like this one. Okay. It does come with the little foam dots, but to me, it's just better to glue it down like that. Okay. I'm not going to add, I can add a butterfly right there too, or maybe over here, but I'm not going to add it. I'll save that butterfly for another project. But there you go, folks. And these are my samples here. This one here was stamped, and I'll show you in another video how I stamped the blank side of that. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you liked it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. I will be having some more projects coming out soon. Okay. All right. And you have a great day. And thank you so much for being here with me.